Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we turn stacks of travel guides, cultural sources, all that stuff into the actionable knowledge you really need.
Mm.
Today, we are strapping in for, well, a deliciously deep dive into an island that's picked up some pretty powerful nicknames.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
The Pearl of the Orient, for one, and, maybe more importantly for many listeners, one of the world's great food capitals.
Okay, I know where we're headed. We are, of course, talking about Penang, Malaysia.
Exactly.
And what's so fascinating about Penang, I think, is how layered it is. It really is this kind of masterwork of layers. When you walk through Georgetown, the capital, you see these really diverse, sometimes even contradictory histories sort of woven right into the streets.
Yeah, that's the picture I got too. These old colonial British mansions, some look amazing, others are kind of beautifully crumbled.
Hmm.
And they're standing right next to these super ornate, incredibly fragrant Taoist temples. And the whole scene, the buildings, the life on the street, just the feel of the place, it's all coated in this complex, like unmistakable smell of genuine fusion cooking.
Totally. It's Malay, Chinese, Indian, all mingling. But, that incredible appeal, that's also the challenge, isn't it?
How so?
Well, the hype around Penang is just, it's huge now. Food blogs rave about it. Travel shows feature it constantly. Your Instagram feed is probably full of it if you follow travel stuff.
True.
And that means the tourism boom is real. And that, inevitably, means crowds.
Right. So that's our mission today, then.
Exactly. We want to cut through all that noise, all the hype, give you the shortcut to the key facts, the logistics, what things really cost, the essential cultural bits you need so you can answer that big question for yourself. Is Penang still worth it? Or has the hype, maybe the crowds, kind of spoiled what made it so special?
Okay, crucial question. But before we dive into the practicalities, we need to flag something really important right up top. Penang isn't just another pretty island with beaches. It has a special status, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Specifically, the historic core of Georgetown is protected.
And that's not just like a nice label, it means something practical.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It mandates preserving those specific shop houses, that unique architecture. And that architecture, that's really the engine of the island's whole vibe, its historical feel.
So UNESCO protects the stage, basically.
Precisely. It protects the physical framework, where this incredible mixing of cultures, Malay, Chinese, Indian, those are the big three, has been happening for centuries. And that fusion, it's not just superficial, it's baked into the history, the food, everything we're about to talk about.
Got it. Okay, let's get practical. Section 1, logistics and mobility. Getting you there, getting around efficiently.
All right. So for most international travelers, your target is Penang International Airport. The code is PEN.
PEN, okay.
Now, it's really well connected within Asia. You can fly direct from places like Hong Kong, Bangkok, Singapore, Jakarta, lots of regional options.
But maybe not the place you fly into directly from, say, London or New York.
Generally not, no. It's not really set up as a major intercontinental hub like, say, KL or Singapore.
So if you are flying in from further afield, Europe, North America, Australia, what's the smartest route into PN to avoid, crazy layovers or spending a fortune?
Yeah, the best bet, honestly, is usually the classic hub and spoke method.
Okay.
Fly into one of the big regional gateway airports, Kuala Lumpur, so KLIA, or Singapore Changi, which are, two of the best airports in the world anyway.
Absolutely. Easy to transit through.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just hop on a short connecting flight over to Penang.
And these aren't long flights we're talking about.
No, not at all. Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Super quick. And they run constantly. You've got budget carriers like AirAsia, Firefly, Malindo Air, loads of options.
And the cost for that little hop?
This is the amazing part. If you book it a bit in advance, you can often find those connecting flights for like 20 to 30 US dollars, maybe $40. It's incredibly cheap.
Wow, okay. That's seriously good value for connecting flights.
It really is. One of the cheapest transfers like that you'll find anywhere, I reckon.
All right, so you land at PN. What about the formalities? Visas and stuff?
Usually very straightforward.
Right.
Most Western passports, US, UK, EU, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, you'll typically get a 90-day visa-free entry stamp right on arrival.
Simple enough.
Yeah, generally a non-issue. But, standard advice always applies. Double-check the specific requirements for your passport with your government's travel advice before you fly, just to be safe.
Always good practice. Okay, you're through immigration. You need immediate tools. Money and phone connectivity. Currency is the Malaysian ringgit. MYR. What's the plan for cash? Exchange at the airport.
Oh, I'd probably change just a small amount there. Enough for maybe a taxi or a drink if you absolutely need it right away.
Yeah.
Airport exchange rates are rarely the best.
Right. Better options.
Yeah, your best bet is usually ATMs once you're out and about. Lots of banks are linked internationally. Or, honestly, rely on card payments where you can. Especially, and this is key, within the Grab app.
Okay. Connectivity first, though. You need data for maps, Grab, everything. Right?
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Don't leave the airport without getting sorted. As soon as you exit baggage claim, you'll see counters for local providers. Max's, Digi, Cellcom are the main ones.
And they do tourist plans.
Yep, they have cheap tourist SIM packages. Usually give you plenty of data for a week or two. Seriously, get this done immediately. Trying to navigate Penang without Google Maps or, critically, without Grab, it's just making life difficult.
Which brings us to Grab, spelled Grab. This is basically what? Southeast Asia's Uber.
Pretty much, yeah. But I'd argue it's often more reliable, definitely more widespread in many places, and crucially for Penang, incredibly cheap. It's going to be your best friend, especially when you first arrive, maybe a bit jet lagged.
And the big advantage, no haggling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You see the price up front in the app, and you can link your credit card so payment is totally cashless and automatic. No awkward conversations about the fare, no language barrier issues. It just works.
Give us an idea of the cost. Like from the airport, which you said is south, up to Georgetown in the north.
Okay, yeah. That ride, which can take, 30, 40, maybe 45 minutes depending on traffic,
Yeah.
it'll cost you somewhere around 8 to 10 US dollars.
Seriously. For that distance.
Yep. Maybe 35, 45 ringgit. It's fantastic value. A total no-brainer compared to trying to negotiate with taxis, especially from the airport.
Okay, Grab is essential. But what about once you're settled, especially if you're staying in Georgetown's historic area? Does the transport need change?
Oh, completely. Within the core UNESCO zone of Georgetown, your feet are your number one asset.
It's a walking city.
Fundamentally, yes. Trying to use Grab or taxis for really short hops within the old town.
Yeah.
It's often slower than walking because the streets are narrow, often one-way and congested.
You'd miss things, right?
Totally. Walking is how you find those amazing little hidden cafes, the antique shops, tucked down alleys, the street art that isn't on the main tourist map. You have to walk to really experience Georgetown properly.
But what about longer trips? Say, going out to Penang Hill or Kek Luk Sai Temple?
Grab is still your best bet there. Still very affordable to get across the island. Or there's actually a surprisingly decent public bus system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Rapid Penang buses, they connect most of the main sites and areas, and they are dirt cheap, like unbelievably cheap.
What's the catch?
The catch is often they require exact change, which means you need to keep a little stash of ringgit coins and small notes handy. Can be a bit fiddly if you're not prepared.
Okay, good tip. Now, we have to talk about scooters. You see tourists renting them everywhere. Looks fun, maybe. But the traffic...
The scooter question, yes. Look, the traffic in and around Georgetown, every local we asked described it as organized chaos, and that feels about right.
Organized maybe being generous.
Perhaps. It's intense. You've got cars, buses, bicycles, pedestrians, and hundreds of scooters all weaving in and out. The stopping and starting is aggressive. It takes confidence and familiarity with how traffic flows in Southeast Asia, which is different.
So, your advice for the average tourist?
Honestly, unless you are a very confident, experienced scooter or motorcycle rider, I'd probably advise against it, especially for navigating Georgetown itself. It can be really stressful and, frankly, a bit dangerous if you're hesitant.
Maybe okay for exploring quieter parts.
Yeah, perhaps if you wanted to head out to the quieter countryside like the west coast around Balik Pulau, maybe then. But for the historic center, stick to walking and Grab. Don't let trying to master chaotic traffic ruin your trip.
Good call. Don't want mobility stress interfering with the mission, which is often food-related.
Exactly. Okay, so we know how to get around. Let's talk about where to stay. Section 2, where to lay your head still down. Choosing your Penang personality. Because this choice really shapes your whole experience.
Right. And Penang seems to offer two very distinct personalities when it comes to accommodation, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got to decide what kind of trip you want. Personality 1 is staying right in Georgetown, the cultural heart.
What's the vibe there?
It's immediate immersion, total. You step out your door, and you are in it. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the history of the UNESCO zone is right there.
And the accommodation itself can be part of that history.
Absolutely. This is where you find those beautifully restored heritage shop houses, that have been converted into boutique hotels.
Ah, I've seen pictures. They look amazing. Often with internal courtyards and intricate tile work.
Exactly, that Peranakan style. Places like the Seven Terraces are stunning examples. They've kept the historical soul, but added modern comforts. It's a really special experience staying in one.
So the pros are obvious. Unbeatable convenience, especially if you're there for food and culture. Walk everywhere. Feel the history.
Right, you're literally steps away from the best hawker stalls, temples, street art, everything.
But there must be cons.
Well, yeah, those gorgeous heritage hotels. They often come with a higher price tag because of the restoration work in the prime location. And importantly, you need to remember you are in a city, a vibrant, sometimes noisy city. You might be near the water, but you're not waking up on a beach.
Which brings us neatly to personality 2, Batu Ferringhi, the beach resort area.
Yep, up on the northern coast. This is basically the polar opposite of Georgetown immersion.
This is where you go for the classic beach holiday vibe.
Exactly. This strip is lined with the big international resort chains. You know, the Shangri-La, the Park Royal, the Hard Rock Hotel. Names you recognize.
And their focus is relaxation, pools.
Pretty much. You're trading in that deep history for modern resort comforts. Think infinity pools overlooking the sea, big breakfast buffets, water sports right off the beach, kids clubs, that sort of thing.
Okay, so the pros, ideal if you specifically want that resort experience, maybe for families who need the kids club and easy pool access, or travelers who just want to chill by the beach for a week.
Right. If those amenities are your top priority, Batu Ferringhi delivers.
But what's the major trade-off?
The trade-off is, well, distance and maybe a bit of authenticity. You're definitely in a resort bubble. It feels quite separate from the real pulse of Penang.
How far is it from Georgetown?
It's usually a 30 to 45-minute drive, depending on traffic. You'll need a grabber taxi each way.
So if your main reason for visiting Penang is the food and the culture in Georgetown?
That commute, potentially twice a day, every day, it's going to get old pretty quickly. And expensive, relatively speaking.
Okay, so the verdict for our listener, the first-timer trying to decide.
I'd say. Stay in Georgetown if food, culture, and history are your absolute top priorities. You just can't beat the immersion. Choose Batu Ferringhi only if you really need those specific resort facilities and guaranteed beach pool time, maybe for family reasons.
Makes sense. Are there any other notable areas? Compromises?
Well, yeah, briefly. There's Tanjung Bunga, which is sort of geographically halfway between the two. Offers some condos and hotels with sea views. A bit more space than Georgetown, less resorty than Batu Ferringhi, kind of a middle ground.
Okay.
And then, for a totally different vibe, there's Balik Pulau over on the west coast. That's much more rural. Think durian orchards, small villages, farm stays. Really local experience, but quite removed from the main tourist track.
Interesting. But for most first-timers focused on the highlights, it's Georgetown versus Batu Ferringhi.
Pretty much. And for the experience Penang is famous for, Georgetown usually wins.
All right. We know where we're sleeping. Now, the main event. The reason most people probably clicked on this deep dive, Section 3, the culinary deep dive, because Penang is, by all accounts,
A 10 out of 10 food destination. No question.
it's not just about eating, is it? It feels like more than that.
Oh, absolutely. Food in Penang is. It's a cultural institution. It's a way of life. It's woven into the fabric of the place. And the fact that you can get these incredibly high-quality, complex, delicious meals for like $2 or $3 US, it's just mind-blowing.
And that flavor complexity comes back to that fusion idea again.
Directly. It's this unique, specific blend you just don't find elsewhere. You've got Malay spices and techniques, the curry, sambal, grilling. You've got Chinese traditions, noodles, wok, cooking pork. And you've got Indian influences, rich curries, roti, spices, all colliding and merging over generations.
Creating something totally new.
Exactly. Flavors that are uniquely Penang.
Okay, let's get specific. The absolute must-try dishes. The Mount Rushmore of Penang food. What's on it?
Ooh, tough choices, but essential ones. Where do you want to start?
I think we have to start with the king, the dish that screams Penang, char kway teow, CKT.
Agreed. Got to be CKT first. So what is it? Flat rice noodles, basically. But the magic is in the cooking.
Has to be cooked in a proper wok, right? Super hot.
Absolutely searingly hot, often over charcoal, which adds another layer. The flames should be licking the sides of the wok, and traditionally cooked with lard.
Lard. Okay, not health food, but flavor.
Flavor bomb. Plus fresh shrimp, tiny little cockles. Those add a savory sea taste. Bean sprouts for crunch, Chinese chives, and then this dark, complex sauce. It's sweet, it's savory, it's soy-based.
And the key is that smoky flavor, that wok hai.
Yes. Wokei, Wokhei. The breath of the wok. It's that unique, slightly charred, smoky essence you only get from cooking at that intense heat. If your CKT doesn't have wokei, if it's not slightly greasy in the absolute best way possible, it's not proper Penang CKT.
It's addictive, that flavor. Utterly.
Totally. Okay, phenomenal start. But for complexity, I have to nominate Penang Assam Laksa.
Yes. And we need to be clear, this is not the creamy coconut laksa people might know from elsewhere.
Very important distinction. No coconut milk here. This is the different beast entirely. It's a fish-based broth, but the defining flavors are sour and spicy.
Sour from?
Tarand.
That's nice.
Assam means Karand in Malay. That gives it a really distinct, sharp sourness. Then you got chili for heat and this amazing aromatic profile from things like lemongrass, galangal, and crucially, torched ginger flower and Vietnamese mint.
It sounds intense.
It is. It's pungent, it's fishy, it's sour, it's spicy, it's herbal. It's incredibly complex. We should warn you, it can be challenging for first-timers. It's not instantly comforting like, say, a creamy laksa.
Divisive, maybe.
Can be. But if you get it, if you acquire the taste, oh man, it's a flavor that just sticks with you. It's fascinating. More than just delicious, it's interesting.
Okay, CKT, Assam laksa. What else is non-negotiable?
Hokkien mee has to be on the list. Sometimes called Penang prawn mee.
This is a soup noodle dish.
Yes, a really rich, deeply flavored noodle soup. The broth is the absolute star. It's made by simmering prawn heads and shells, along with pork bones, for hours and hours.
So it gets that deep orange-red color.
Exactly. And this incredible umami oceanic richness. It's usually served with a mix of yellow egg noodles and the thin rice vermicelli, topped with prawns, slices of pork, maybe some hard-boiled egg, water, spinach, and crucially, a dollop of potent chili paste on the side for you to stir in. Comforting, but complex.
Sounds amazing. Okay, one more for the Mount Rushmore.
For me, it has to be nasi kandar.
The ultimate plate of, well, glorious mess.
Huh. That's the perfect description. This is the star of Penang's Indian Muslim, or mamak, cuisine. Simple concept. A plate, usually a mountain of steamed rice. And then you choose from this huge array of curries, meats, vegetables, seafood, all displayed in front of you.
And the key is how they serve it, right? The kuah campur?
Yes. You point at what you want, maybe some chicken curry, fried fish, okra, squid. And then comes the magic. They take ladles of the different curry gravies, the kuah, and just pour them all over your rice. Campur means mix.
So you get this blend of different sauces soaking into the rice.
Exactly. Don't ask for it neat. You want the messy mix. That combination of flavors all mingling together, that's the heart of nasi kandar. The messier the plate looks, generally, the better it's going to taste. That's the golden rule.
I love it. Okay, Mount Rushmore established. Any other quick honorable mentions people should look out for?
Oh, definitely. You'll see wonton mee everywhere, often served dry with the soup on the side, tossed in a dark sauce. And you can find excellent Hainanese chicken rice, simple, but perfection when done right, relying on the chicken quality and the fragrant rice.
Can't go wrong with those classics. What about drinks to wash it all down?
Well, the classic Malaysian drink is teterik.
The pulled tea.
That's the one. Strong black tea, condensed milk.
Yeah.
But the pouring it back and forth from a height between two containers is what makes it special. It cools it down slightly, but also creates this amazing frothy, creamy head. It's sweet, but surprisingly light because of the aeration.
A performance and a drink in one.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And for something totally different, really local, and surprisingly refreshing, especially in the heat, try the fresh nutmeg juice.
Nutmeg as a juice.
Yeah, not the dried spice flavor you're thinking of.
Right.
Fresh nutmeg fruit juice is tart, a little bit savory, slightly sweet.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but it really cuts through the richness of the food. You'll see stalls selling it, often iced. Give it a try.
Intriguing. Okay, we know what to eat. Crucially, where do we find the best versions of these legendary dishes?
The heart and soul of Penang food is found in the hawker centers.
These are like open-air food courts.
Sort of, but forget the generic mall food court image. These are collections of individual stalls, often run by the same family for generations. And, critically, each stall usually specializes in just one dish.
They don't try to do everything.
No, they perfect one thing. The CKT guy only does CKT. The laksa auntie only does laksa. That's their life's work, passed down. That's why the quality's so high.
Well, okay, so where are the famous hawker centers in Georgetown?
There are loads, but some well-known ones are the New Lane Hawker Center that gets really bustling in the evening. Also, the Chulia Street Night Hawker Stalls, which literally set up along the roadside at night. Very atmospheric.
What about Gurney Drive? I feel like I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Gurney Drive is famous,
Sure.
historically.
Mhm.
But the general consensus now among locals and foodies is that it's become much more tourist-focused. Prices are higher, and maybe the quality isn't quite what it used to be, or what you find in the less famous spots. Still worth seeing, maybe, but maybe not the best for eating.
Good to know. So if you're in a hawker center surrounded by stalls, how do you choose? What's the strategy?
There's one simple foolproof strategy. The golden rule of hawker centers. Look for the stall with the longest queue of local people.
Ignore the fancy signs, ignore the pictures,
Yeah.
follow the locals.
Exactly. It's a living, breathing rating system. If there's a long line of Penangites patiently waiting,
Yeah.
you can bet that dish is going to be absolutely top-notch, perfected over generations. Join that queue. It's worth the wait.
Simple but effective. Now, is it all street food in hawker centers?
Mostly. That's the core
Yeah.
experience. But Penang also has a really great modern cafe scene now. Proper espresso, nice pastries, air conditioning. Great for taking a break from the heat and humidity.
A caffeine refuge.
Definitely. And at the other end of the spectrum, there's some incredible fine dining restaurants now, too, often doing modern Malaysian or fusion cuisine, and frequently housed in those stunningly restored heritage buildings, so you can really run the full gamut of eating experiences.
But the heart remains with the hawker stalls.
Undeniably. It's a 10 out of 10 food destination, primarily because of that accessible, high-quality, incredibly flavorful street food culture. It really drives the whole reason to visit.
Okay, I'm officially starving. But we need to talk about working off those calories. Section 4. Activities, temples, treetops, and art. What do you do between meals?
Yeah, essential planning. Luckily, Georgetown itself offers tons to explore, much of it built right into the city fabric. Let's start with the street art.
This has become a huge draw for Penang, hasn't it?
Absolutely massive. The whole city feels like a living gallery. It really kicked off in a big way back in 2012. The local council commissioned a Lithuanian artist, Ernest Zakarevich, to do a series of murals.
And his style is quite distinctive.
Very. He's famous for murals that interact with real-world objects. The most famous one is probably Kids on a Bicycle, where the painting incorporates an actual bicycle leaning against the wall.
Ah, right. So they have this clever 3D effect. Great for photos.
Exactly. There are others like Boy on a Motorbike, using a real motorbike. It's whimsical and engaging. But beyond his work, lots of other murals and also cool wrought iron caricatures explaining local history have popped up.
So what's the best way to see the art? Follow a map.
You can follow a map. There are plenty available.
Yeah.
But honestly, the most rewarding way is just to wander. Put the phone away for a bit, explore the little lanes, the alleys, the lorongs and labus.
Stumble upon them by accident.
Yeah. That sense of discovery when you turn a corner and find this amazing piece of art, it's much cooler than just ticking boxes off a GPS list. Let yourself get a little lost in the old town.
Okay, good advice. From street art, let's head towards the water. The clan jetties. These sound unique.
They really are. They're basically traditional Chinese villages built entirely on wooden stilts over the water.
Villages, like proper communities.
Yeah, established back in the 19th century. Different Chinese clans, mostly Hokkien-speaking immigrants, settled here. And each clan, like the Chu clan, the Lim clan, the Dan clan, built their own jetty community. Wooden houses, walkways, temples, all over the water.
Fascinating. A glimpse into an older way of life.
Totally. It shows how these maritime communities adapted.
Yeah.
Now, the Chu Jetty is the most famous and definitely the most geared towards tourists. Lots of souvenir shops, food stalls. It's interesting, but can feel a bit crowded and commercial.
Are there alternatives?
Yeah, if you walk a bit further along, the Tan Jetty or the Lem Jetty feel a bit more like actual lived-in communities. Quieter, maybe more authentic. You get a better sense of it being people's homes, not just a tourist attraction. Worth exploring beyond just the main Chu Jetty.
Good tip. Okay, from sea level, let's go up. Way up, Penang Hill.
Yes, an absolute must-do, I think.
Yeah.
Not just for the views, but for the escape from the heat.
How do you get up there?
You take the Penang Hill Funicular Railway, which is apparently one of the steepest funicular rides in the world.
Steep, like really noticeably steep.
Oh yeah, you feel the incline. It's quite dramatic as it hauls you up the side of the hill. And the views as you ascend, looking back over Georgetown and the island, they get better and better.
And at the top, cooler air.
Noticeably cooler. A really welcome relief from the humidity down below. Plus, stunning panoramic views across the island over to the mainland, sometimes even as far as Langkawi on a super clear day.
Okay, this sounds essential. What's the crucial practical tip here?
Go early. Seriously, early.
Why? The queues?
The queues for the funicular can become absolutely massive, especially on weekends or public holidays. We're talking potentially waiting an hour, 2 hours, even more if you rock up mid-morning.
Wow, okay. That eats into your day.
Hugely. So make this your first activity of the day. Aim to be there right when it opens or very shortly after. Get up, enjoy the views and the cool air before the main crowds arrive. It makes a huge difference to the experience.
Right, noted. Go early. Is there anything else to do up on the hill besides the viewing platforms?
Yes, definitely. While you're up there, you should check out the habitat.
The habitat. What's that?
It's basically this fantastic ecotourism attraction built within the rainforest up there. It's a treetop walk, nature trails,
Yeah.
all designed to let you experience this ancient 130-million-year-old rainforest ecosystem.
A walk among the treetops.
Yeah, they have canopy walkways, bridges. The highlight for me is the Curtis Crest Treetop Walk. It's this circular viewing platform, the highest public viewing point on Penang, giving you absolutely staggering 360-degree views over the rainforest canopy, Georgetown, the sea. It's spectacular.
Does it cost extra?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
The habitat has its own entrance fee, separate from the funicular. It's not super cheap, maybe around $15, $20 USD. But honestly, for the quality of the experience and those unique views from within the canopy, I think is well worth the money.
Okay, Penang Hill early. Consider the habitat. Got it.
Now shifting gears to something more spiritual. Kek Loksai Temple. This sounds immense.
It is. It's genuinely vast, one of the largest Chinese Buddhist temple complexes in Southeast Asia.
Complex. So it's not just one building.
Not at all. It's built up a hillside over multiple tiers. It's this sprawling collection of prayer halls, monasteries, intricate pagodas, gardens. It just keeps going up and up. It's a really impressive representation of the Chinese cultural influence in Penang.
What's the main landmark there? The big statue.
Yes, the huge bronze statue of Kuan Yin, the goddess of mercy. It's about 30 meters, maybe 100 feet tall. Absolutely dominates the upper levels of the complex. Very striking. And there's also the famous pagoda of 10,000 Buddhas.
10,000 Buddhas.
Well, maybe not literally 10,000, but thousands of small Buddha images inside. And the pagoda itself is really interesting architecturally because it blends Chinese, Thai, and Burmese styles in its different tiers. Quite unique.
Sounds like you could spend a lot of time there.
Easily. You need to budget at least a few hours, maybe 3 or 4, to explore it properly. And be prepared for walking and stairs. Lots of stairs.
A bit of a workout then.
Definitely. Especially climbing up through the different levels in the Penang heat. But the reward, the sheer scale, the intricate artwork, the vibrant colors, the sense of devotion, it's absolutely worth the effort. A really powerful place.
Okay, lots of amazing things to do. Now, let's talk about what maybe not to do. The flip side. Section 5. The Smart Traveler's Skip List, prioritizing authentic experience.
Yes, this is important. Especially in a popular place like Penang, it's easy to waste precious time and money on things that aren't really worth it, helping you avoid the tourist traps.
So what's top of your maybe give it a miss list?
For me, it's the sheer number of gimmicky, sort of low-value museums that seem to have popped up everywhere in Georgetown.
Ah, you mean the ones that are basically just designed for photos. The Upside Down Museum, the Ghost Museum, the 3D Trick Art Museum, that kind of thing.
Exactly those. Now, look, maybe some people find them fun for half an hour, especially if you have kids who enjoy that sort of thing. I get that. But my rationale for skipping them, especially if your time is limited, is twofold. First, they feel completely generic. You can find an upside-down museum or a 3D art gallery in almost any major tourist city in the world. They teach you absolutely nothing specific about Penang's unique culture, its Peranakan heritage, its history.
Right. They're not rooted in the place itself.
Not at all. It's synthetic entertainment. And second, time is precious. Every hour you spend queuing and posing for photos in a gimmicky museum is an hour you could have spent wandering the actual historic streets, finding real street art, exploring a genuine temple, or, let's be honest, eating another incredible bowl of Assam laksa or CKT.
Opportunity cost. Trade-off is too high.
Precisely. Spend your time on the authentic experiences that make Penang unique, not on generic photo op traps.
Okay, solid advice. I agree with that one. What else is on the potential skip list? This one might be more controversial.
Yeah, I think this one might raise a few eyebrows. I'm going to suggest caution, or perhaps even skipping, the Batu Feringhi night market.
Whoa, hold on. Skip a night market in Southeast Asia. Isn't that like heresy? Aren't they a classic experience? Vibrant, bustling food?
They can be, but the Batu Feringhi one, well, based on recent experiences and reports, it's often quite disappointing now, especially when you compare it to the quality you get elsewhere in Penang.
Disappointing how?
It's largely devolved into selling very, very generic tourist souvenirs. Think fake designer bags, knockoff watches, mass-produced T-shirts with cheesy slogans, cheap plastic toys. The kind of stuff you see at tourist markets absolutely everywhere. It's lost a lot of its local character.
Okay, so the shopping isn't great, but what about the food stalls? Surely there's good food there.
That's the other key point. While there are food stalls, they tend to be significantly more expensive than what you'd pay in Georgetown. And crucially, the quality is often considered inferior. Well, think about the audience. It's largely catering to the tourists staying in the nearby beach resorts, who might not venture into Georgetown for hawker food. It's a captive audience, so prices creep up, and maybe there's less pressure to maintain that super high, generationally perfected standard you find in the city's hawker centers.
So it's not where the locals are going for the best stuff.
Generally not, no. They know they can get better, cheaper food in Georgetown.
Okay, so the rationale is solid then. If you're looking for authentic crafts or amazing food, Batu Ferengi Night Market might not be the place.
I'd say manage your expectations or maybe skip it altogether. If you want a fantastic, vibrant evening experience with incredible, authentic food at great prices, spend that evening exploring a proper hawker center in Georgetown instead. It's just a better use of your time and money focused on quality.
Makes perfect sense. Prioritize the authentic core. All right. We've covered a lot of ground. We've landed the plane, navigated the city, eaten our way through it, seen the sights, and avoided the traps. Time for the final wrap-up. Section 6. The vibe, the verdict, and a provocative thought. How do we sum up the overall feeling, the vibe of Penang?
The word I keep coming back to is layered. It's this incredibly rich, sometimes chaotic, but ultimately harmonious mix.
Layered how?
Culturally layered. You can see the British colonial past, the deep Chinese roots, the Indian influences, the Malay identity, all existing right on top of each other, interacting constantly. Visually layered old buildings next to new crumbling walls, next to vibrant temples. Sensorially layered, the smells of incense, spices, cooking, drains, frangipani, all mingling in the air. It's just dense. Beautifully dense and chaotic.
Yeah, beautifully chaotic feels right. There's an energy, a bustle, but it doesn't feel frantic somehow.
Exactly. That's the other part of the vibe. Despite the density and activity, there's this underlying relaxed pace. It's not a city that rushes you. It invites you to slow down, wander, sit, and watch the world go by with a coffee or a tamarink.
And the people contribute to that vibe, too.
Massively. We found people incredibly friendly, welcoming, and genuinely proud of their island. Proud of their heritage, proud of their city, and especially proud of their food. They love sharing it. That warmth really adds to the relaxed, welcoming feel.
Okay, so layered, beautifully chaotic, but relaxed and friendly. That's the vibe. Now for the big question, the verdict we promised at the start. After digging deep, considering the hype, the crowds, is Penang still worth it?
For me, it's a resounding, enthusiastic, why, yes, absolutely.
Reservation.
No hesitation. Especially if your priorities align with what Penang does best, food and culture. The experience you get, the depth of history, the sheer culinary brilliance, it's world-class. And the value for money is still exceptional. It absolutely justifies the journey. I'd give it a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Wow, 9.5, high praise, I'm right there with you. It completely exceeded my expectations, which were already pretty high, even just for the architecture, the atmosphere, the street art. It would be a great trip, but then you add that phenomenal food scene on top.
It just elevates it to another level.
It really does. It cements it as a truly essential must-visit destination, especially for anyone who travels to eat. I'm going with a 9 out of 10, my advice. Go. And go hungry. Very hungry.
Definitely go hungry. So as you, our listener, start planning your own potential Penang adventure, digesting all this info, we want to leave you with a final provocative thought to sort of chew on.
Okay, lay it on us.
Penang is this fascinating study in contradictions, isn't it? It's intensely bustling in parts. It's a major port city, a state capital. There's traffic, there's energy. Yet simultaneously, it has this pervasive feeling of slowness, this relaxed, almost provincial pace, especially in the old town.
Busy but slow. Chaotic but calm.
Exactly. So the thought is this. Consider how that very contradictory atmosphere, that beautifully chaotic mix of cultures, histories, and speeds might actually be the precise engine that drives both Penang's unique, preserved identity and its world-class, globally renowned culinary perfection. Is the magic actually in that contradiction?
A perfect thought to mull over while dreaming of char kway teow. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Penang, Malaysia.
We hope you feel equipped now with that shortcut. You need to explore the Pearl of the Orient for yourself.
Until next time, travel safe and eat well.